Hey folks, this is Chris with Oregon Figs. It's August 18th, 2023, and Breba season is winding down. This is going to be more of a PSA tasting video than a tasting video because I only have one fig. This is the Breba from Biffaro Zeus. You can tell it's ready to pick when it gets to be this red. I've seen people pick it before it's red and it's not ripe. So this one's actually fairly well ripened. A little backstory on this fig. I started a cutting of this fig a few years ago, and the fig was just riddled with FMV. And sometimes when you start cuttings, they're just not strong cuttings, and your tree gets a bad start, gets a start with a lot of FMV, and it generally will grow through that with a few years under its belt, but it takes a while to get past that stage. So this was a really unhealthy tree. I put it in ground. I put it in ground a little bit earlier than I should have. I should have grown it out further in a pot. And it just was this little tiny tree that was close to the ground. Last year, it actually started growing a tiny bit and it formed, I think it was 5 Breba. And for a small tiny tree, that was an okay number. And they all held and they all ripened and they were delicious. They taste like maple syrup and brown sugar when they're fully ripened. They have a wonderful flavor. And you can see that dark color, which usually means brown sugar or caramel. And if you're really lucky, maple syrup, which is really unusual to get in a fig. I've only had 2 figs that have done that for me, and one was Zafiro and one was the Breba from Biffaro Zeus. Anyways, getting back to last year's tree. So I was really excited about this year because the tree grew quite a bit last year, meaning a lot of growth points for Breba because it likes to grow, the Breba grow on the prior year's wood. So I was super excited. This year started and the tree was just loaded with Breba. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna be able to say with confidence now that this is a great variety for the Pacific Northwest. Unfortunately, all the Breba, with the exception of this one, dropped. So right now, I really can't give it a good recommendation. It's gonna take me another year, and we'll see if in another year it holds the Breba. The problem is if this ends up dropping the Breba every season, it's not a good choice for us because once again, I see the main crop dropping. So as I said last year, I think this potentially could be a San Pedro variety that won't ripen the main crop in ground for us here in Oregon without the wasp. So that's a lot of information. The biggest takeaway I would say would be don't buy this one right now. Wait, let me do the testing. I'll do the testing for you. Don't go jump on the bandwagon because I had some good figs last year and say, well, that's going to be a great one until I at least give it another year. Now, with that being said, we lost a lot of Breba this year that have dropped, and it might have something to do with our heat that we've had. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and taste it now, and we'll see if I get that brown sugar. And this is what drives me crazy. It's a delicious Breba. No intense brown sugar, no maple syrup, just moderate seed crunch, somewhat sweet. Not that impressive compared to last year. But once again, I don't think this is ripened anywhere near the point where it would be really good. So, my takeaway is hold off on Biffaro Zeus. Let me do another year of testing for you. Don't spend your money speculating when it might be wasted money. And let me figure it out. So that's what I want to do. I'm trying to make it easier for people to make the right choices and to not make the wrong choices. So this is pretty much it for Breba. I might have one. I have one on Tia Pena that honestly doesn't really look like it's ripening that well. So I think Breba season in all likelihood is winding down, if not done. I'm hoping that come September, we start getting some main crops, because I think we are about 2 weeks ahead of last year's schedule for main crop. And I started getting main crop mid-September last year. So keep our fingers crossed here. And maybe the Mount Etnas will be coming on here in a couple weeks. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you on the next one. It might be a Breba video, and it might be a main crop video. Okay, take care, everyone.